Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. with your mind racing, wondering why your body refuses to rest deeply? Tonight you will discover the 3 exact phrases that Louise Hay used to transform insomnia into the most restorative sleep of your life. And at the end of this video, you will have the complete ritual that will allow you to sleep as you have not in years. Your mind cannot rest, because during the day you have accumulated thoughts, worries, and tensions that continue to vibrate within you as invisible waves that disturb your nocturnal peace. Louise Hay discovered that insomnia and sleep problems are not just physical. They reflect mental patterns of worry, guilt, and a resistance to letting go of the control of the day that is ending. Each night when you lay your head on the pillow, you bring with you not only your physical body, but also every conversation you had, every decision you made, every emotion you experienced. And if you have not learned to consciously release all of that, your subconscious mind remains alert, processing, analyzing, keeping you in a state of vigilance that prevents deep rest. But tonight will be different. In the next few paragraphs, you will learn why those 3 specific phrases that Louise Hay recommended have the power to calm your nervous system, release the tensions of the day, and program your subconscious mind for truly restorative rest. Are you ready to transform your relationship with sleep and wake up every morning renewed and full of energy? The first fundamental aspect you must understand is that your nocturnal mind is like a garden. Everything you plant before you sleep grows and multiplies during the hours of rest. Louise Hay observed that people with chronic insomnia had a common pattern. They used the moments before sleep to review problems, plan worries for the next day, or criticize themselves for mistakes of the day that was ending. Do you recognize this pattern in yourself? Perhaps you are one of those people who, when they finally lie down, their mind begins to make a mental list of everything they have to do tomorrow. Or perhaps you mentally review every conversation of the day, analyzing what you could have said differently. Maybe your head is filled with future scenarios that generate anxiety, or with reproaches for things you did or failed to do. Louise Hay taught us that insomnia represents fear, not trusting in the process of life, and guilt. Every time your mind resists falling asleep, it is expressing a deeper resistance to letting go of control, to trusting that everything will be fine while you rest. A 42-year-old woman told me how she had been taking sleeping pills for years because her mind had no off button. Every night, as soon as she closed her eyes, a torrent of thoughts about her work, her children, and her responsibilities would begin. She had turned her bed into a mental office where she processed all the pending matters of her life. When she began to implement the ritual that I am going to teach you, she discovered that the problem was not her overactive mind, but that she had never learned to create a conscious transition between day and night. Her mind kept working because no one had given her permission to rest. The first phrase you should repeat tonight, placing your hands over your heart, is, "I release this day with love and gratitude. Everything I needed to experience has already been experienced. Now I surrender my being to perfect rest." Repeat it 3 times, breathing deeply with each repetition. This phrase works because it specifically tells your subconscious mind that the day is over, that there is nothing more to process, that everything is complete. It is like officially closing the door of the day to open the door of rest. Notice how, as you repeat it, something inside you begins to relax, as if you finally have official permission to let go. Practice with me right now. Breathe deeply and repeat aloud, "I release this day with love and gratitude. Everything I needed to experience has already been experienced. Now I surrender my being to perfect rest." Do you feel that sense of liberation, that slight loosening in your chest and shoulders? That is your body responding to the vibration of completeness and surrender that these words carry, and we will talk about that in the next point. Your physical body has emotional memory, and during the day it accumulates not only physical toxins, but also emotional toxins that are lodged in your muscles, your organs, and your nervous system. Louise Hay understood that to achieve truly restorative sleep, it is not enough to lie the body down. It is necessary to consciously release all the emotions and energies that do not belong to you. During the day, you interact with dozens of people, each with their own energy, their own emotional states, their own worries. Without realizing it, your energy field absorbs part of those vibrations. If you had an argument, if someone criticized you, if you witnessed conflicts or tense situations, all that energy remains attached to your being like invisible dust that needs to be cleaned before you rest. Furthermore, your own emotions of the day, the frustration of traffic, the anxiety about a presentation, the sadness about a piece of news, the irritation from a misunderstanding, also remain lodged in your body if you do not process them consciously. And when you try to sleep with all that emotional baggage, it's like trying to rest with a backpack full of stones. Louise Hay observed that people who slept deeply had something in common. They had developed nighttime rituals of energetic cleansing, conscious ways of releasing everything they had absorbed during the day. When we cleanse our being before we sleep, she said, we allow sleep to be truly restorative. I know an entrepreneur who for years suffered from insomnia after particularly stressful days at work. She had tried everything, changing her mattress, completely darkening her room, even moving to a quieter place. Nothing worked because the problem was not in her physical environment, but in her energetic environment. When she learned to implement the second phrase of Louise Hay's ritual, her sleep quality was completely transformed. Her body was finally able to enter into deep repair because it no longer had to process the emotional overload of the day while trying to rest. The second phrase that will transform your sleep is, I release all energy that does not belong to me. I lovingly return everything I absorbed from others. My being is clean, light, and ready for nocturnal regeneration. As you repeat it, visualize a shower of golden light that runs through your entire body, washing and purifying every cell. This phrase is deeply liberating because it recognizes that a large part of what you carry with you is not originally yours. When you declare that you release what does not belong to you, your subconscious begins to separate what is truly yours from what you have absorbed from the outside. It's like taking off an invisible outfit that you have been carrying all day. Practice this now. Sit comfortably, place both feet on the ground and repeat, I release all energy that does not belong to me. I lovingly return everything I absorbed from others. My being is clean, light, and ready for nocturnal regeneration. As you say it, imagine that all the tension, all the worry, all the stress simply dissolves and goes away. Do you notice that sense of relief, as if you had literally taken a weight off your shoulders? Subscribe to this channel for more content about the transformative power of Louise Hay's affirmations in your daily life. Activate the bell to receive notifications of videos that can change your physical and emotional well-being. But releasing the day is only the first step. Now you need to actively program your subconscious mind for regeneration and growth during the hours of sleep, and we will talk about that in the next point. Your subconscious mind is like a nocturnal gardener that works tirelessly while you sleep, but it needs clear instructions on what to cultivate in the garden of your being. Louise Hay discovered that the last words and thoughts you have before sleeping become the seeds that your subconscious plants and waters throughout the night. If you fall asleep thinking about problems, worries, or fears, you are literally programming your subconscious mind to spend the nocturnal hours cultivating more anxiety, more stress, more fear-based solutions. That is why many people wake up feeling exhausted even after sleeping for 8 hours. Their subconscious mind was working all night, but in the wrong direction. Instead, when you consciously plant seeds of peace, healing, love, and trust before you sleep, your subconscious mind dedicates the nocturnal hours to strengthening exactly those qualities in your being. You wake up not only physically rested, but emotionally renewed, mentally clear, and spiritually aligned. Louise Hay taught us that the thoughts you choose to have in the last moments before you sleep tend to manifest in your experience. This means that you have a precious opportunity every night to positively program your reality for the next day. A client of mine, a school teacher, told me how for years she would fall asleep mentally reviewing all of her students' problems, worrying about difficult parents, and being anxious about pending evaluations. As a result, she would wake up every morning feeling overwhelmed before even getting out of bed. When she began to use the third phrase of Louise Hay's ritual, not only did her sleep quality improve, but she began to wake up with creative ideas to solve her work challenges, with more patience for her students, and with a general feeling that she could handle any situation that arose. The third and most powerful phrase to program your restorative dreams is, "As I sleep, my being regenerates completely. Every cell is renewed with perfect love. I wake up tomorrow, radiant, healthy, and full of infinite possibilities." Repeat it with the certainty that your subconscious is receiving and accepting these healing instructions. This phrase works because you give your subconscious mind a specific and positive task to completely regenerate your being. Instead of letting it process random worries, you consciously direct it towards renewal, healing, and preparation for a new day full of potential. Try it right now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and repeat with total conviction. "As I sleep, my being regenerates completely. Every cell is renewed with perfect love. I wake up tomorrow radiant, healthy, and full of infinite possibilities." You can feel how these words carry a vibration of hope and renewal that instantly calms your nervous system. For the next week, use this phrase as the final seal of your day. You will see how your mornings gradually transform. You will wake up with more energy, more mental clarity, and a natural sense of optimism that you did not have before. And we will talk about that in the next point. The transformative power of these three phrases does not reside solely in the words themselves, but in the sacred ritual that you create around them. Louise Hay always emphasized that conscious and loving repetition is what engraves new beliefs into your subconscious mind, replacing old patterns of resistance to rest. When you turn these phrases into a nighttime ritual, you are creating what Louise Hay called a bridge of peace between your active day and your restorative night. It's not just about repeating words mechanically, it is about creating a sacred space of transition where you consciously say goodbye to the day that is ending and welcome the night that will renew you. The ideal time to practice this ritual is when you are already in your bed with the lights off in a resting position. First, breathe deeply 3 times, allowing each exhalation to release the accumulated tension in your body. Then, place both hands over your heart and begin with the first phrase. It is important that you do not rush. Each phrase must be pronounced or thought with intention, truly feeling the meaning of the words. Louise Hay recommended repeating each phrase 3 times, allowing it to be deeply installed in your consciousness before moving on to the next one. One of my clients, a 48-year-old executive who had suffered from insomnia for 5 years, described her experience to me. "The first few nights I thought it was just a placebo, but by the 3rd night I noticed that my mind stopped racing. By the first week I was falling asleep before I finished the 3 repetitions of the 3rd phrase. Now 2 months later I sleep deeply all night and wake up feeling brand new." The complete ritual takes less than 5 minutes, but its effects extend throughout the night and project into the next day. It is a minimal investment of time for a maximum transformation in your quality of life. Here is the complete ritual. First, with your hands over your heart, I release this day with love and gratitude. Everything I needed to experience has already been experienced. Now I surrender my being to perfect rest. 3 times. Second, imagining the golden light shower, I release all energy that does not belong to me. I lovingly return everything I absorbed from others. My being is clean, light, and ready for nocturnal regeneration. 3 times. Third, with total certainty, as I sleep, my being regenerates completely. Every cell is renewed with perfect love. I wake up tomorrow radiant, healthy, and full of infinite possibilities. 3 times. Practice this complete ritual for the next 21 consecutive days. Louise Hay said that it takes approximately 3 weeks for a new pattern to be established in the subconscious. Be patient with yourself and trust the process, and we will talk about that in the next point. The deepest transformation you will experience with this nightly ritual goes beyond the simple fact of sleeping better. Louise Hay discovered that when we change our relationship with sleep, we change our relationship with life itself. When you learn to trust the process of rest, you develop a deeper trust in the process of life. Insomnia, in its deepest essence, is a manifestation of the difficulty to let go of control, to trust that you will be safe while you are not consciously vigilant. It is the reflection of a mind that has assumed the responsibility of controlling every aspect of existence, even during the hours that naturally correspond to rest and regeneration. When you implement this ritual from Louise Hay, you are not only improving your sleep, you are training your entire being to trust, to let go, to allow life to flow through you without resistance. You are learning to work in harmony with the natural rhythms of expansion and contraction, activity and rest that govern all of existence. Louise Hay observed that people who mastered the art of deep rest tended to be more creative, more intuitive, more resilient to challenges, and more capable of attracting positive experiences into their lives. This happens because during deep sleep, your subconscious mind has access to levels of wisdom and information that are beyond the reach of your conscious mind. A businessman told me how, after months of practicing this ritual, he began to wake up with solutions to complex problems in his business that during the day seemed impossible to solve. His subconscious mind, freed from worries and programmed for renewal, had been working creatively during the hours of sleep, connecting ideas and finding paths that his conscious mind had not been able to see. This is what Louise Hay called the miracle of conscious sleep. When you learn to sleep not as an evasion of life, but as an active participation in your process of growth and manifestation, your quality of sleep directly affects your ability to manifest your desires, to maintain healthy relationships, to make wise decisions, and to fully enjoy your existence. When you sleep deeply, you wake up aligned with your true self, connected with your intuition, and ready to consciously create your reality. The ritual of these 3 phrases is a master key that opens the door not only to physical rest, but to the complete renewal of your being. It is an act of self-love, a declaration that you deserve peace, regeneration, and a waking up full of possibilities. Tonight, when you practice the complete ritual, do it with the awareness that you are participating in something sacred, the process of conscious death of the day that is ending and the programmed rebirth toward the day that is coming. It is an act of faith in your own capacity for transformation and in the infinite wisdom of your inner being. Like this video, if you feel that these tools can transform your relationship with sleep, and share it with someone you know needs to rest deeply. Your gesture of sharing can be the gift that changes someone else's quality of life. Remember that real change happens in consistent practice. Don't expect magical results the first night, but also don't underestimate the cumulative power of these words spoken with love and intention night after night. And we will talk about that in the next point. Modern science is confirming what Louise Hay intuitively understood decades ago. Our words and thoughts have a measurable impact on our nervous system, our hormones, and our capacity for cell regeneration. When you consciously pronounce these 3 phrases before sleeping, you are activating specific biological responses that facilitate deep sleep and nocturnal healing. The first phrase about releasing the day activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your nervous system responsible for calm, digestion, and repair. When you consciously declare that the day is over, your body receives the signal to switch from fight or flight mode to rest and restore mode. It is like literally flipping the switch of your nervous system. The second phrase about releasing foreign energies works with what neuroscientists call allostatic load, the physical wear and tear caused by chronic stress. When you consciously release the emotions and energies you have absorbed from others, you reduce the load that your system must process during the night, allowing your resources to be directed toward regeneration instead of processing foreign traumas. The third phrase about nocturnal regeneration programs, what is known as healing intention. When your subconscious mind receives clear and positive instructions about healing, it activates a cascade of biological responses that optimize the production of growth hormone, improve immune function, and accelerate cell repair during the hours of sleep. Louise Hay was a pioneer in understanding that we are not passive victims of our sleep patterns, but active participants who can consciously influence the quality of our rest through our thoughts and words. A neuroscientist who attended one of my seminars explained to me how these practices work at a brain level. When we repeat specific affirmations in the transition state to sleep, we are taking advantage of the moment when the barrier between the conscious and the subconscious is most permeable. The brain waves are changing from beta activity to the theta, creativity and intuition. And in that state, positive suggestions are more easily implanted in the subconscious. This means that Louise Hay's ritual is not just positive hope. It is a precise technology to reprogram your nervous system toward patterns of deep rest and optimal regeneration. Every time you practice it, you are literally training your brain to more easily enter states of restorative sleep. The most fascinating aspect is that these changes are cumulative. Every night that you practice the ritual, you strengthen the neural connections associated with peace, trust, and regeneration. Over time, your brain begins to automatically activate these states without the need for so much conscious effort. After several weeks of consistent practice, many people report that simply lying in bed already activates a feeling of peace and drowsiness, as if their body had learned to associate bedtime with deep tranquility instead of with worry or mental activity. This is the true gift of Louise Hay's work. It gives you back the power over your own experience. You do not need to depend on medication or perfect external circumstances to sleep well. You have the internal tools to create the state of consciousness that facilitates natural and deep rest. The invitation is simple but powerful. Trust in your ability to positively influence your nocturnal experience. Your mind and body are designed to work in harmony with you when you give them the correct instructions with love and intention. Tonight you have the opportunity to begin a new relationship with sleep, a relationship based on trust, self-love, and conscious participation in your nocturnal renewal process. The journey we have taken together today has taken you from understanding why your mind resists rest to the practical and powerful tool that can completely transform your nightly experience. You have discovered that insomnia is not your enemy, but a messenger that indicates the need to create conscious transitions between day and night, between activity and rest. The 3 phrases from Louise Hay that you have learned today are not just pretty words, they are precise keys that open the doors of your nervous system to deep states of peace and regeneration. When you say, "I release this day with love and gratitude," you give your mind permission to let go. When you declare, "I release all energy that does not belong to me," you cleanse your energy field of foreign burdens. And when you affirm, "As I sleep, my being regenerates completely," you program your subconscious for optimal healing. Each of these phrases is a gift you give yourself, an act of self-love that recognizes your fundamental right to deep rest and nocturnal renewal. As Louise Hay used to say, sleep is a sacred time in which the soul is renewed and the body is restored. When we honor this process, we honor the wisdom of life itself. Your body knows how to sleep deeply. Your mind knows how to rest. Your soul knows how to renew itself. You just needed to remember how to create the internal conditions that allow these natural processes to flow without obstacles. Tonight, when you practice the complete ritual, do it with the certainty that you are reclaiming your personal power over one of the most fundamental experiences of your existence. Every time you consciously choose to program your mind for peace instead of worry, you are voting for a version of yourself that trusts life, that allows for the natural flow, and that wakes up every day renewed and ready to consciously create her reality. Change can begin this very night. You don't need to wait for perfect conditions. You don't need to solve all your problems first. You just need to make the loving decision to give yourself the gift of deep rest, to trust in your ability to let go of the day that ends, and to embrace the renewal that awaits you in sleep. Write in the comments below, "I choose to listen to my body and honor my need for deep rest." This public declaration will strengthen your commitment to this new pattern of nocturnal self-love. If this content resonated with you and you feel it can transform not only your sleep, but your entire quality of life, like it, share it with someone you know needs to rest better. And subscribe to this channel for more powerful tools based on Louise Hay's transformative teachings. Activate the notification bell to receive videos that can change your relationship with your body, your mind, and your integral well-being. Remember that every night is a new opportunity to choose peace over worry, trust over control, and renewal over resistance. Your deep sleep is not a luxury, it is a fundamental right you have as a human being, and now you have the exact tools to claim it. Sweet dreams, and may you wake up tomorrow radiant, renewed, and ready to create the most beautiful day of your life.